What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Wow! Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out. Before we get into this story, let me say, coming up, I'm going to do a story about Sonya Manson, the black woman that was unalived in her home by the white supremacist cop. Y'all check it out. Support the content. I'm going to give my take on it, and I'm going to try to give my take on really what should happen in these situations. However, my take on it will not be all that popular, and I can't really give it the way I want to because I'll be banned from YouTube. So I have to be careful and tread lightly, but still do my best to communicate with my brethren, my brothers, as to what needs to happen to quell and absolutely stop these senseless unalivings administered by the government, sanctioned by the government. Also, people have asked me in the comments, how did Porky die? How did Porky pass away? They want to know, and they essentially want to know now. I understand this. I've been thinking myself, well, I've been giving the stories on my comrade, on my brother. But I do want everyone to bear in mind, I bear in mind every day. But I want others to bear in mind as I'm giving these stories that we are talking about someone, I am talking about someone that is no longer here with us. He passed away. And in order, I believe, to give him his proper respect, I'm going to have to give you the story on how he passed away, to bring his death to the forefront. And then I'll just continue on with some of his life there in the Los Angeles County Jail, and maybe a couple of things on the street, I don't know. But in order to pay homage to him and to give him his proper due, I'm going to have to do the story about how Porky passed away there in prison, in Centinela State Prison. Again, I'm going to have to tread lightly on that. It's a sensitive subject for many people, including myself. Many people love Porky then and now, and are upset at his death, understandably, as am I. So, and it's somewhat of a conspiracy theory as to how he died. I'm going to get into it in one of my next videos. It's coming up this week, coming up within the next few days. I will give the story on how Porky died in prison. Stay tuned. It's going to be a day for me, a hard story to tell, because again, we're talking about someone that I do care about, someone that I was close with, someone that I went to war with. So, his death affects me in many ways, and, it bothers me, as it does many people, as I said. Now let's get into this story. This story takes it to the Los Angeles County Jail. Wayside, for those who do not know, Wayside is just an extension of the Los Angeles County Jail. However, Wayside has dorms. You have North, I believe you have something called North. I've never been in North and Wayside, just Supermax and Eastmax. You have Supermax and Eastmax. I think somebody told me they had shut Eastmax down or something. But all of the dorms are built different. And riots were jumping off in Eastmax, North, Supermax, every part of Wayside back in the 90s. And it continues today. But back then, it was worse. I guess the Southsiders had got the green light from their higher-ups to riot with the blacks, to get off on the blacks. So oftentimes, when I got there in 1994, I was 19 years old, fresh out of YTS. Now I'm in the Los Angeles County Jail fighting a robbery. And they sent me to Wayside. And I'm just now learning about all of these riots and politics and how this stuff works. It doesn't take me long to catch on that the Southsiders and most of these riots are the aggressors. They're the ones getting off on the blacks because they got the word from their hierarchy to do so. However, even then and at that age, it wasn't sitting right with me to be on the defensive and to be a sitting duck. So I did start pushing the line very early on. I'll get into that soon. But here, a mini war ensued after a riot that had really kicked off because of the OG homie from Front Street Watch crib. I do not recall his name. Light brown skin, short hair, almost like a little short mini afro or something. And perhaps he was 34, 35 years old. And I'll be remiss if I did not say from the beginning that he was indeed a racist. He did not like anyone that was not black. Anyone. He made that abundantly clear to me and to others. Okay, fine. Feel how you want, think how you want to think, as long as it does not affect the masses in the community there in Wayside. Well, Front Street was ill-tempered, pretty angry. I'm not going to get into the case that he was in there on. I will say, however, that he was in there for the unaliving of his wife, girlfriend, baby mother. She was one of the three. I don't believe that they were married, but I believe that she was his baby mother and his longtime girlfriend. And they were in love and had a volatile relationship. They both abused one another. She ended up unalived. To cut the story short, he sat up one night there in Wayside on the bunks and told me the story. And it was moving, and I'll never forget it. I'll also never forget the look in his eye when he was telling me this story. I believe then and I believe now that he loved this woman. How could he unalive her then? He loved this woman. And he was sick about the fact that it had got that far to where she ended up unalived. They had been fighting one night. They both had deadly weapons. He was successful in using his. She laid out there leaking. So he was full of stress, was old Front Street Watch, walking around there in Wayside like a time bomb. And he was angry often. But however, he did not take his anger out on anyone. He really kept to himself, and he and I just used to chop it up often because he wanted to relieve some of this stuff and get it off of his chest. He used to tell me story after story about his relationship with his girl and how it was and how toxic it was, told me different stories about her and her family, etc. Again, at this time, this is in 1994, and had to have been February of 1994, riots are replete in Wayside in the Los Angeles County Jail. It is going up literally 5 times a week. There is a riot between the blacks and the Southsiders, period. And Front Street, he knows this. And, well, being a racist, the racist that he wasn't for none. And he didn't go looking for trouble, as I said, but he would not back down from another race. If he thought that they were trying to slight his people, he was ready to go up at any given moment. I saw this immediately, and it worried me some But I was only 19 years old, and I was not the shot caller. As soon as I walked into the dorm, I was somebody. From the moment I walked in until the moment I left. However, I was not the shot caller. I was 19 years old and had just got there. If anything, you can say that Front Street was the shot caller. And one day, late night, I heard Front Street down there yelling at someone. Now, this was in Supermax. And it woke up half the dorm. We all got up and ran downstairs to see what was going on. Almost pretty much knowing, we can tell the voice that was yelling back, and he was yelling back at him, that he was a Southsider. So get downstairs, we run down there, and Front Street is down there arguing with the Southsider, who's essentially his neighbor, sleeping on the bunk next to him. Come to find out, Front Street says that the Southsider was lying down on his bunk, talking to his bunkie, another Southsider, on the top bunk, and was telling him about a riot that he had just been involved in, where essentially he had stabbed a black, he had hit a black, and that the black didn't fight back, and he was a coward and all this sort of stuff. The Southsider is young. He's about 20 years old. And I don't know if this stuff happened or not that he's talking about, but Front Street is certainly taking umbrage to the fact that he's over here lying next to him, speaking loudly so that he can hear him. Yes, he's minding his own business. Yes, he's having a conversation with his bunkie, but he's saying it loud enough so that Front Street can hear it. I would take exception as well to someone from another race sitting on his bunk talking about how he stabbed up a black, and that the black was a coward and didn't do nothing. Yeah, Holmes, yeah, I got him, homie. And I'm just sitting right there. Man, nah. You got me fucked up. You asking for trouble. Keep that bullshit to your damn self, bro. Or tell your people. That's fine. But don't say it where I can hear it. Front Street took it as if he was saying it on purpose, deliberately, trying to rub it in his face that he had just been into a riot and had used a weapon on the opposition, on Front Street's brethren. So Front Street said that he just told the Southsider, essentially asked him, man, can you keep it down? Whatever happened, whatever war stories you over there telling, that's fine, but you're talking about my people, bro. You're talking about, you stabbing up my people and all this shit. I done been in riots and all that with your people too, but you don't hear me over here telling my neighbor, how I done knocked out 5 Mexicans, you know what I'm saying, while you sitting right here, bro. I ain't saying all that, so chop it up with your people. I can't tell you any different. However, don't say it so that I can hear it to where you're trying to disrespect me and the rest of my people right here in the dorm. This Southsider, well, apparently he took exception to that. He was young, as I said, and he may have been hot-headed as well. I can't say for sure. I had not been in the dorm that long. As I said, and I'm just learning. I just left the county jail, and the OG homies were explaining to me the riots that were transpiring in Wayside and why. And I just got there, and so I'm just really learning, again, the politics of all of this. I just left pass on YTS at 19 years old, and I'm still 19 now. But now I'm an adult, and now I'm in the county jail heading to prison. But this is my first time in the county jail and my first time in Wayside. So again, I don't understand the politics of it all, but I'm a fast learner. I always have been, and I'm quickly learning. I have to for self-preservation. And well, they're down there arguing because the Southsider had got back at Front Street and told him to mind his own business, that he was talking to his own people, to his bunkie, and basically he can say what he want to say. So Front Street told him, no, you ain't going to say what you want to say around me. So they down there arguing. This was the argument. This is what the argument is about. And now it's escalating. The argument is getting loud, louder and louder. They're going back and forth. OG Southsider, who was on his bunk a couple of bunks away, I remember him, a chubby dude with short hair. He came down and told the younger Southsider, "No, homie, he's right, homie. He's right. You know, you are disrespecting him. You are disrespecting his people, homie. You know, saying this stuff out loud that you just stabbed his people up. You ain't got to do that, bro. You know, don't do that, homie. He's right." So the Southsider reluctantly he kind of looked at the OG like, okay, he showed deference and respect to him, but you can see that he still wasn't really feeling it, that he still really wanted to do what he wanted to do. However, it was resolved right then and there, and it was quiet. And that's when Front Street came up, walked up the stairs, and to all the blacks, now we all grouping up. It was resolved right then and there as far as it didn't go up. Because any little thing, it's way less stuff than that that's causing it to go up in Wayside. Anything is going up constantly, as I said. So them sitting there arguing is good enough for it to go up. And they're screaming, please. It would have went up. For whatever reason, it didn't go up right then and there. However, we're still grouping up after the fact. So now the blacks are upstairs. Everybody done walked upstairs. Front Street up there. He basically pacing, got his chest poked out, telling us what happened. He pissed. He's still mad. Like, you know what I'm saying, Mexican down there, bro, they don't respect us, bro. You know what I'm saying? This dude down here talking about how he just stabbed one of us up. And that we cowards, basically, that the dude that he stabbed up didn't do shit. So I'm down there telling him, yeah, you won't stab me up, and I don't do nothing. I pick up his slack. You know what I'm saying? Since you want to say this shit right here in front of me, bro. And so the blacks are a little riled up as well, understanding and hearing Front Street side of the story about what the Southsiders down there saying and doing. I know I'm riled up, but I'm not the only one. I am pissed though. And the Southsiders are downstairs and they're grouping up and they're talking. I don't know what their conversation consists of. I'm not a Southsider. I was up there with my damn people, involved in our conversation. And Front Street did let it be known. He made it clear that he didn't like that Mexican. Really, he didn't like Mexicans, period. And I'm just being honest with you. And he let it be known that if this dude got out of line one more time, no matter how minute, he was going to bust his head open. Period, point blank. It didn't take long for him to make good on that. Because just a few days later, many times there have been riots over the TV in Wayside. And back in the days in the Los Angeles County Jail, there have been times where the Southsiders wanted to watch soccer. The World Cup was on. And that's a big thing in their community. But the blacks wanted to watch something else, and it then went up. And there was times, just like this one right here, where blacks wanted to watch football, and the Southsiders wanted to watch whatever the fuck, and didn't want to watch football, and it then went up. And in this situation, football was on. I believe it was the playoffs. Basketball, because football just went off, because this was in February, because I got out of YTS in January of 94. Like I said, I stayed out 10 days and went back for a robbery. Now I'm in Wayside. And so basketball was on. Football went off, but basketball was on. And Front Street was somewhat of a sports fanatic. He loved to watch his sports. Yeah. Compound that with the fact that he's already off put by the transaction that he had with the Mexican. And he's already really imbued with racism, is Front Street. And that was only exacerbated with the argument that he had with the Southsider. So now he's walking around the dorm sort of huffing and puffing, but I don't think that he's putting on the act. I really think that he's stressing about his case, stressing about what he's in there for. I believe that he's a rider from his hood. And I believe that he cares about black people. And he also knows that the Southsiders are the ones going on the offensive in most of these riots, that they are the aggressor. And he's telling me the same thing that I'm feeling. He's just articulating it at that time that, it's best for us to never be on the defensive, but to go on the offensive with these people, bro. That's it. They're around here attacking us for no damn reason. You know what I'm saying? We ain't finna keep putting up with this shit. We gonna start attacking their ass back. Period. You ain't gotta tell me twice. You're talking my language. So I think that he saw in me a young dude, again, 19 years old, that was ready for whatever, especially when it came to protecting black people. And it came to these, and when it came to these riots, I was ready to go up and save face and save our damn name, because again, they are the ones that are the aggressors at first. But this shit started to turn around. So Front Street is really pushing this inside of the dorm. The Southsiders, I believe they know this. They know that he don't like them. They know that he has a disdain for them. The whites that are in there as well. They know that he wants to stand up for his people. They see the argument that he had with the other Southsider. They see how he's walking around, the tension that he has upon his person as he's walking around the day room. And I think they think he's a ticking time bomb. Well, he wanted to watch basketball. And the same Southsider that he got into it with, it was their day to watch TV. It was. And that's how it is in Wayside. In the Los Angeles County Jail. Now they have TVs on the tier in the Los Angeles County Jail. One day is the Southsiders' day to watch TV, which means they can watch whatever they want to watch. It's their day, all day. The next day, it's the blacks' day to watch TV. We watch whatever we want to watch their entire day. On the Southsiders' day, sometimes they'll turn the TV to Spanish. We can't understand what the hell's going on. It's their day. We can't say nothing. We sit there and watch whatever the program is, because the TV is an outlet. We all want to watch the TV. And we just have to accept it. But oftentimes we work together on this. We're cool. We have a rapport. The shot caller for the blacks, the shot caller for the Southsiders, they're cool with one another. And one will say, on our day, and it's a soccer game, bro, it's all good, man. I'm gonna let my people know we're gonna let y'all watch the soccer, bro. And they say, man, it's football, it's the playoffs, man. Y'all can watch that shit. We ain't finna do nothing but watch Telemundo. Y'all can go ahead and watch the football game, bro. It's all good. We know how much y'all wanna watch the game. Oftentimes we work together like that. But sometimes you get situations where people are not working together, especially if there's already tension and people want to go up anyway and all of this. So the basketball game came on, and the Southsider, the same Southsider, did not want to turn to the basketball game. It was the Southsiders' day. But when it was our day, excuse me, just recently, to my understanding, again, I've not been in the dorms that long. But before I got there, the blacks were saying that they had let the Southsiders watch the soccer game. Blacks don't want to watch soccer, bro. But they sat there and turned it on, and they was blasting the TV on our day because we knew how much they wanted to watch it. And even though the blacks said they had something that they wanted to watch on their own day, they let the Southsiders watch soccer. So Front Street knows this. He was there when this happened. So he's just thinking that they're going to return a favor. It's not even a Super Bowl, nothing, but it's basketball. We want to watch the game. Y'all not watching nothing right now. There's no soccer game on or no big event for y'all. Can we just watch the game real quick? Then y'all got the TV the rest of the day. And then when it's our day, y'all can watch something y'all want to watch, whatever. He's trying to work with them like that. But and again, this sort of stuff happens. He had worked that out and say, okay, it's cool. Yeah, turn to the game, bro. Tomorrow we want to get our 3 hours back and watch something on y'all day. Okay, cool. That's how we work together. Front Street is thinking it's going to be one of these situations again where we come together and work together. However, the Southsider that he had got into the argument with a few days before, he's not having it. He's saying that it's their day and they not turning the damn TV. Fuck that basketball game. He's getting a little aggressive, bro, as far as Front Street is concerned. I know that he felt like he was getting a little bit aggressive because when I looked up, Front Street was on top of him. He had took flight, bro. Didn't waste any time. He had already said days before, if this dude does and says anything, it's on. He took off. And when he took off on the Southsider, he dropped him. The dude was a little skinny dude, a little young dude. Front Street is a big grown man, bro. But he was angry. And he took off. And the Southsiders got up and the blacks got up and we all clashed immediately. And it went up. We were squabbling with one another hard, every black and every Southsider in the dorm. Bodies was flying everywhere. Right across from us in the other dorm, it went up over there. At this time in the county jail and in Wayside, when it goes up in one cell on a tier, it is indeed going up in the entire module. And in this situation, and in Wayside, when it goes up in one dorm, the other dorms that can hear it or see it, if we even hear the rumbling going on down the hall, we know it's a riot. We already know it. Because again, they're happening every day. So we know this is a riot. We can hear it. You hear the yelling, you hear the police coming, you hear the bunks moving, you hear people hitting the damn ground, you know that it's a riot. And then at that time, when you hear a riot going on in another dorm, you go up immediately right there in your dorm. It just goes up. So it's going up in every dorm. And that's what happened in this situation. When it went up in our dorm, it went up right across from it. We see it, it's going up right there. It's going up everywhere. After the riot was quelled and the riot was over, and it took some time because every dorm is going up. It took a couple of hours to get it under control. Well, the Southsiders, they're not happy. Partly because they are used to being the aggressors and used to taking off. As far as I'm concerned, that's just my opinion. And it didn't happen like that this time, and it's not going to keep happening like that, period. And they're also upset because they felt like Front Street was older, a bigger dude, and this dude was like a little kid. You know, he was 22 years old or whatever, like I said. You know. So, for the most part, nobody went to the hole. That's how it was in Wayside back then because, it's, again, every dorm, the hole is only so big. They only have so many cells in the hole. And every dorm then went up. 200 people in every damn dorm, 100 people in every dorm, however many people it is. Every dorm, there's 500 people that just been involved in the riot. They can't put nobody in the hole. They just leave everybody where they at. Sometimes they would mix up the dorm. Take 10 blacks out of this dorm, take them to that dorm down the hall, bring 10 blacks from down there over there, take 5 Southsiders, put them in this dorm, mix everybody up. Try to calm everything down like that or whatever. The troublemakers, they believe, get them out the dorm and all of that. But nobody's going to the hole. So we're all still right there in the dorm. They would just have a so-called lockdown, put us on so-called bunk status, where you cannot leave your bunk. They don't want all this commotion because they don't know if it's about to be a riot or whatever, so they say stay on your bunk for 3 or 4 days. 2 people come off your bunk at a time. You can go get hot water, you can go shower, then get back on your bunk. The next 2 get off and go. It's bunk status. 2 people at a time getting off their bunk. You got to tell your homie, wait down there, bring me some hot water, man, because the time you getting off your bunk is going to be hours from now. Because these 2 got to shower up there, then the next 2. It's a lockdown in a dorm. It's bunk status. And that's pretty much what happened there in Wayside, like put us on bunk status, whatever, try to calm everything down, put every dorm like that to make sure everything is cool and calm, people not moving around, big old crowds in the dorm, and they go up again and all that. But everyone was still there in the dorm that was involved in the riot. And the Southsiders are none too happy. And they make their feelings clear. They want Front Street out of the damn dorm. Hell, they want Front Street out of Wayside. They feel like he's mild-tempered. And they feel like he has racial tension towards them. And they feel like he took off on one of their younger comrades, that he has no filter, and that we should get rid of him. He needs to go. They don't want him in the dorm anymore, period. And they don't want him to go, like I said, they talking about they want him out of Wayside. They don't even want him to go to another dorm, they're saying, with this same disposition, this same attitude, because he's going to kick it off somewhere else. We're trying to stop all these riots that's going on here in Wayside. I can't tell. But they wanted Front Street out. And they made that abundantly clear, explicitly clear. This dude got to fucking go. What to do? If we don't get rid of Front Street, for sure, it's just going to be a war. It's going to go up. And if Front Street is alerted to the fact that they want him out of here, he's about to go up again. He ain't going nowhere. This dude's a G. He a real gangster, bro. As far as he's concerned, as far as others are concerned, he ain't going for that. And the blacks ain't finna roll him up. I already know this. The blacks ain't finna do nothing to him. He's one of those type of dudes, bro. And they didn't feel like he was wrong. He took off on the Southsider, and the Southsider was younger. But it is true that the blacks had just let the Southsiders watch a certain program on TV on their date. Now they don't want to return the favor, and it's only this one dude that doesn't want to return the favor. He's the only one that's tripping and speaking out about it, and it's only because of the argument that he just had with Front Street. Everybody knows this. So Front Street, yeah, he did lose it, and he took off, and it went up. But the blacks are really pretty much supporting Front Street, and they got his back. And so the Mexicans didn't come to me. Again, I wasn't the shot caller. They didn't come to me and say, we want him out of the dorm. They went to someone else and told him. And what's supposed to happen when another race comes to you or another faction and says your homie did this, that, and the other, we want him out of here, y'all are supposed to discuss it without that person in case the decision is made to remove him. You don't want to alert him to what's going on. So really, Front Street is not even supposed to know that the Mexicans are saying they want him out of here. Because if you go and tell him, of course, he going to want to go up. Man, what they talking about? Roll me up. You got me. I'm a gangster. What you mean? Man, my people ain't finna roll me. Man, you know, I'm finna go up. We finna go up with y'all because I can see now y'all don't like me. I'm in danger now. Y'all want me out of here. So you're really supposed to come back to the blacks and then we discuss it or whatever. And then if we're not going to remove Front Street, then we let Front Street know, boy, they talking about they want you out of here. We ain't getting you out of here. We already discussed it. So it's just about to go up. But to let him know from the beginning, and then in front of everybody, and now either we got to remove him like they're saying, or it's going to go up, it's not a bright idea. But the people that they told, I guess, were somewhat of the shot callers. Front Street pretty much was, but they wasn't going to tell him, so they told the next in command, the next in line, who they thought had some sort of influence there in the dorm, that they wanted Front Street out of there. And he made the monumental mistake of essentially calling a meeting and putting it out there on the table, right then and there. And all hell broke loose. A war that lasted, I would say, a good month there in Wayside transpired over that first riot and over Front Street not wanting to leave the dorm and the blacks not wanting him out of the dorm. All hell broke the damn loose there in Wayside. And I'll bring it to you. I'll bring you part 2 of the war in Wayside with the blacks and the Southsiders. And it pretty much all started over my guy, Front Street Watts. He did what he had to do. And then we did what we had to do. I'll be back with more of that. In the meantime, stay free, people.